The story continues, and Boxo mentions that they met with no trouble after conquering the labyrinth Stratum Lord, and 2 days later, they got out of the labyrinth. They notice a village out there, and they notice that it seems desolate, and Shuei mentions that there are only facilities which the hunters would need. Lamies wonders how they protect themselves against monsters, as there is no wall surrounding the village, and Filmina mentions that monsters don't attack outside the labyrinth. The director then states that many areas of the dungeon are still a mystery to them, and the sudden resurgence of so many floor bosses is also a mystery. They then enter the Hunters Association, and the director tells the workers there that he knows that it's boring here, but they shouldn't make it so obvious. The director then tells everyone to take it easy today, as they have worked hard, and at night everyone finally sleeps with a roof on their head. The next morning the menagerie of fools leave the stratum with the director, and Lamies and Hulheim stay behind with Boxo to survey the perimeter of the giant labyrinth. A hot guy then comes to the Hunters Guild, and he introduces himself as Michel. He asks the receptionists if they have a detailed map of this floor, and Lamies thinks that this guy is the image of perfection, and the receptionists are also taken in by his looks. They mention that Michel will have to wait for 3 days to get a detailed map, and Michel then leaves saying that he will return another time. Lamies then mentions that this guy looked like the hero from the old tale, and Hulheim mentions that the old tales are romanticized too much, and most powerful adventurers are middle-aged men with muscles. Lamies then wonders what Hulheim thinks about the adventurer. She of the divine favor is people said that she was really beautiful, and Hulheim mentions that the records does say that she was beautiful, and she states that the looker they saw right now must be one of those special cases. She mentions that he must be good if he is challenging the labyrinth stratum on his own, and at night Michel comes out of the inn, and he states that he came to this place because he heard that there aren't many people in this floor. He thinks that he is really nervous around people, and he wonders why everyone keeps staring at him. Boxo wonders if this is the real him, and Michel states that he hates talking to people. Boxo realizes that Michel is bad at communicating, and this is why he has assumed this haughty persona. Boxo then thinks that he can relate with him, and he thinks that he wants to help him, and he remembers that cacao pods can help people relax. Boxo then says hello to Michel, and he tells him to buy some gentle cacao. Michel drinks the cacao, and he thinks that it's sweet and delicious, and it's helping him relax. Michel then thinks that this is an amazing magic item, and since he is not dealing with a person, buying things isn't nerve-wracking. He mentions that it's negotiation time tomorrow, and the next day we find out that Michel is going to join Lamies and the others on their mission. On their way Lamies asks Michel if he was planning to travel through the inside of the labyrinth, and Michel states that it's true. Hulami mentions that it's no problem as they did get a capable hunter, and the Bearcats mention that it's an honor to work with the aloof Black Flash, and Michel states that it's true. Boxo then thinks that Michel should work on changing his responses, and Lamies wonders how long it will take them to make a round of the labyrinth. Hulami states that according to the images she saw it should take them less than 3 weeks, and Michel mentions that it's true, and he then states that he will go to the rear to act as the rear guard. Michel then thinks that this month he has to learn how to be as natural as possible around unfamiliar people, and Boxo thinks that Michel might be trying to improve his communication issues by being in this group. At night everyone sleeps, and Michel thinks that he was really nervous today. He thinks that the band of gluttons and the girls are so cute, and all he could do was keep his face neutral. He thinks that everyone said that they would be fine with Boxo on watch, and he wonders if this magic item really has a mind of its own. Boxo then says hello, and Michel buys some cacao from him. He thinks that shopping usually stresses him out, but it's easy with Boxo around. A week then passes by with no incident whatsoever, but today something seems amiss with Lamis. Hulami asks Lamis what's wrong, and Lamis states that it's nothing. Michel then mentions that Lamis shouldn't overexert herself, and Lamis then collapses, and Michel catches her. He then asks Hulami to look after her in the cart, and Hulami states that they will have to change her clothes. Lamis tries to deny her, but Hulami states that Lamis has to accept others' kindness, and rest at times like these. Boxo then thinks that Lamis always has an off day once around every month, and he apologizes for not noticing it sooner. Beckon wonders what's going on with Lamis, and Suko states that she has heard that among humans the females bleed from down there once a month. Boxo then wonders what he can do, and he changes his form, and he gives Hulami a pad. Hulami wonders what this is, and she finds out that it can absorb water, and she realizes how to use it. Boxo then turns into a washing machine, and Hulami figures out what to do by seeing the images printed on it, and she washes Lamis' clothes. Boxo then states that it's been 2 weeks since they set out on their survey, and by Hulami's calculations they should be able to reach the village on this floor in the next 3 days. He mentions that after that thing with Lamis Michel started eating with everyone, and he seems to have better adjusted. Michel then states that Boxo seems like a useful magic item, and Lamis mentions that his foods taste good, and he also has tons of useful tools. Hulami states that there are no written records of any other item like Boxo, and Pell then smells someone up ahead, and they all stop. Pell mentions that there are 5 humans up ahead, and Hulami thinks that there shouldn't be any hunters out in a place like this. Michelle then states that there is a chance that they are after him. And he mentions that he doesn't wish to cause any more trouble for them, so he will be going alone. Lamis states that they can't let him go alone as it's dangerous, and Michelle states that he can't let them come with him. Hulami asks him why they are after him, and Michelle stays silent, and Boxo thinks that seeing Michelle's secretiveness this seems like trouble. Lamis then mentions that Michelle doesn't need to worry about them as they have Boxo on their side, and Boxo then uses his barrier. Michelle wonders what this blue light is, and Lamis states that it's a barrier. Hulami wonders if Michelle will agree to let them come along with him if his attacks don't get through Boxo's barrier, and Michelle promises them that he will. Michelle then attacks Boxo with a powerful strike, and Boxo manages to block it, but it costs him 500 points. Boxo can't believe that Michelle's attack was this powerful, and Lamis then states that Michelle doesn't need to worry about them as they are going to be fine. Michelle understands, and Lamis, Boxo, and Makem then venture ahead with Michelle, and Michelle states that he can sense 3 swordsmen and 2 mages up ahead. Lamis can't believe that Michelle can sense them from this far out, and they then come across the people in question. The leader of the group tells Michelle that they are here to take his life, and Michelle wonders who they work for. They mention that Michelle should know this already, and the man asks if the beast person and the girl are also with Michelle. Michelle states that they are not, and he mentions that he is just doing a mission with them, and he asks them to not harm them. The man states that he won't harm them if Michelle comes with them quietly, and Michelle states that he can't believe that, and he mentions that he will keep them safe by keeping them from harming them. The groups then begin to fight, and they split up. Boxo turns into a car washer, and Lamis uses the water from the hose to attack the mages after her. Boxo then dispenses some shampoo, and the shampoo gets in the eyes of the mages and Lamis, and McCann then defeat them. We see that Michelle has also defeated 2 of the 3 warriors, and he then takes out their leader as well. Michelle then thanks the others for helping him out, and Michelle then apologizes for getting them involved. Lamis tells him to not worry about it as Boxo gets him involved all the time, and Michelle mentions that he can't reveal any details, but his life is being targeted for some reason, and he doesn't want to put their lives in danger any further, so he will transfer to another stratum. Lamis then states that Michelle should join the menagerie of fools as he is a powerful guy, and she mentions that their captain is looking for guys like him. Hulami states that it's true, and she mentions that the captain wouldn't even care about his past as long as he is strong. Michelle states that he has heard of the menagerie, and Lamis mentions that they work with him sometimes. Michelle then states that he will try to contact them, and he hopes that they meet again, and he leaves. Minami returns to be reunited to take advantage of the fact that within 2 weeks the wall will be fixed, and more people will come to the city to organize a contest of eulogies. The others think it's a good idea, and if they charge the entrance fee they won't have losses. Later they ask Lamis for help, since Shui and the band of eulogies will participate in the contest, and they are going to ruin them. Boxo has the idea of giving them a soda while they eat to fill themselves up before. However, they think that the contestants prefer to drink water, so what they are going to do is start selling soda before the contest, and give them the option to drink water or soda during the contest. Minami asks Boxo if they have more problems to help them, and Boxo tells him that he will do it. The day of the contest has arrived, and the cooks are preparing the meat, and Boxo doesn't want to know what kind of meat it is. Minami presents the contest of eulogies, where Boxo is using a new form of the machine selling level 2, with which music can sound. Minami explains that they will divide the contestants into 2 blocks, A and B, where the first 2 to finish the food in the stipulated time will go to the final, and once the contestants are prepared, the contest begins, in which the team of eulogies are the first to finish, along with a man named Godgay, so they go to the final. Now it's the turn of Block B, where Lamis and Shirley participate, along with Shui. When they start, they all start eating, and the first to finish is Shui, followed by the other contestants. It's the moment of the final, and when they start eating, Shui and the band are the fastest. After finishing the meat, it's time for a dessert, and Shui finishes it very quickly, becoming the winner of the eulogies contest, and the prize is to have Boxo for a whole day, and for this, Minami convinces Boxo to accept, while Boxo thinks that, thanks to this contest, it has earned a lot of money, so it accepts. Shui tells his team that Boxo will be his for this day, and he will take him to the first level of the labyrinth, called the level of the beginning, and once there, they arrive at an area where there are houses, from which some children who are friends of Shui come out, also an old woman, whom Shui calls Maestra, and she tells them that she has brought a magical tool, from which food and drink come out, so Boxo gives all the children a drink. Seeing them so happy, he wants to give them more things, so he gives them balloons and plays with them with a hose of water. Shui tells the children to go take a bath, but the bathtub is empty, and the girls in which they had to fill the bathtub say that they have forgotten to be playing with Shui, Maestra tells them that nothing happens. Boxo has heard them. So he changes to a thermal water machine, with which he fills the bathtub with hot water. When everyone is sleeping, Shui thanks Boxo for helping him, and tells him that he will pay for everything that the children have taken, but Boxo answers that it does not matter. Then Shui explains that all the people who want to enter the labyrinth must go through this level, until they reach the transport circle, so the people who cannot pass this level. Later, some hunters have seen that Boxo has unlimited food, and they want to capture him, but Boxo defends, throwing ice at them, and manages to scare them. The next day, Lamus and the others have found out what has happened. Thank you for joining us on this thrilling adventure through Reborn as a vending machine. I now wander the dungeon. If you enjoyed the recap and want more exciting content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on our latest anime updates.